Hey guys, Susan Thomas here, and today I want to teach you about how to make simple drop earrings. So every time people come up to me and say, Susan, I want you to teach me how to make jewelry, the first thing they want to make, earrings. So today I'm going to teach you about how to make a simple drop pair of earrings, but I'm going to show you some variations. So even though I'm only teaching you one basic technique, it's going to look like you know how to make tons of different styles. To get started, of course, you're going to need your basic tools. You're going to need to start out with your flush cutter, your chain nose plier, and your round nose plier. You don't need anything else except I'm going to talk to you about using a permanent marker to make a mark on your plier. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to make everything really consistent. Then as far as supplies are concerned, you're going to need something called a head pin, which is really just a pin like your mom used to stick in the tomato, you know, it looks like a pin with a little head on the bottom to hold the beads on. And then on the other end, it's open so we can string beads on there. So you're gonna need a couple of those to make your drop pair of earrings. And then you're gonna need a pair of ear wires. And finally, you're gonna need some cute beads. That's up to you. You can pick whatever beads you want to, but you need to be able to string some little beads onto your head pin. I started with a really cute little set of beads here. I've got a little turquoise drop and some little spacers and an orange bead and a pearl. We're gonna get started with this. I've already strung my beads on my head pins, and I'm gonna show you how to make the earrings. So I'm going to start off talking to you just a little bit about this tool. This is a round nose plier, and this is what you're going to use to make the loops and coils on the top of your head pin to attach these to your ear wires. Very important to use this because this is a round plier. You can see it's round all the way around, so it's going to make an actual loop at the top of the head pin that'll hang really nicely on your ear wire. Now, you can also see that it's graduated, so if I worked down here at the tip, I would have a tiny little loop, and if I worked up here way in the jaw, I would have a bigger loop. And I want both the loops on both of my earring drops to be the same size. And that could be really hard to do when you're first starting out. So what I recommend is that you take a permanent marker and you make a mark on your plier. And it really doesn't matter where, it just depends on how big you want your loop to be. I generally start at about 1/4 inch up on my plier. And I'm just gonna tell you this, it's kind of mathematical, but if you always work on your mark, kind of think on your mark, get set, go. If you always work on that mark, then all of your loops and all of your coils will be the same size. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to do the math or wonder where you are on your plier. Just always work on your mark. I'm gonna take this head pin, and you can see I've already strung my beads on here. There's my cute little turquoise drop, and I've got a couple spacers, an orange bead, and a pearl. I am going to grab the head pin right here above that pearl with my round nose plier on my mark. So I grabbed it, and you can see I'm on my mark, and I'm gonna take my finger, and I'm just going to bend this wire straight away from me in a 90-degree angle, like so. Now I'm going to re-grasp that head pin or the wire, and I'm gonna show you again, I'm still on my mark, and I'm gonna roll that back towards me just until that goes into another 90-degree angle. And if I take my plier out, you can see I have a little half circle in the wire. Pop that back in there, still on my mark, and wrap it down and around the plier into a full circle. Now I'm gonna change pliers. I'm gonna grab a chain nose plier. This one is flat and smooth on the inside, and the reason I'm changing it is because I don't want to put any marks with my round nose plier on that loop, and also I wanna hold it steady so I can do this next part. So I'm grabbing that, and then I'm gonna take this little tail. I'm going to wrap this wire around underneath. I usually try to go 3 times, but it looks like I'm only going to be able to go about 2 with this head pin because it's a little bit shorter. So there we go. And then there's going to be a little piece sticking out at the end, and that's what I'm going to need my flush cutter, and I'm going to trim off the extra wire. This is why it's great to have a really good flush cutter, because see how close I'm able to get there? Because you don't want any of that wire sticking out. And then I'm just gonna take my chain nose plier and kind of straighten that up, like so. And there you have a little bubble, a little drop for your earring. So I'm grabbing it on your mark, bend it into a 90-degree angle, hold and control my beads right here, come up and over that bend, still on my mark, and roll back into another 90-degree angle, half circle on that side. Pull it down and around, change pliers, re-grasp, and wrap that around underneath. the circle. Trim off my extra wire, like so, and straighten up my loop. So now I've got 2 loops that look essentially exactly the same. So my earrings will hang the same on my ear wires, and I don't have to worry about holding my head kind of to the side like this to try to keep them straight. Then I'm gonna teach you a little jewelry maker's secret. It's like something that nobody knows, but every manufactured ear wire is gonna have a little opening in it, or almost everyone. It's gonna have a little opening in it somewhere. So in order to get my bauble attached to my ear wire, I just need to find that opening. And on this pair, it happens to be right here on the inside of the ear wire, just below that little ball. Another little secret is you need to hold on to that ball or it's gonna sneak down into that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab this with my chain nose plier, not my round nose. I'm gonna open it up and I'm gonna put that little guy on right there, and then I'm gonna twist it closed. Notice that I twisted it open and then twisted it closed. I didn't pull it open, because if I pull it open, you ruin the circle. So there we go, we've got one earring. Do the same thing with the other. Twist open, bobble on, twist closed. Cute, right? Now I want to show you something a little bit different. You can kind of expand on that technique. Of course, you can make different earrings just by changing out the beads. It's so easy just to change up the look of something just by changing the beads, the order. I could take the pearl off, just put the orange on there. I could put them in another order. I could have turned this the other way. Lots of different things you could do, but I'm going to show you another way to do this that kind of adds a little bit of interest to your earring. So you can see on this particular head pin, I have got a pearl and a spacer and a tiny little bead. And that would be kind of a boring little earring, but I'm going to attach it to some chain. See how that's gonna change everything up and kind of make a longer, more dramatic earring. And this time, instead of putting that space above the top of the bead, I'm gonna bend the head pin down right on top of the bead so I can create what's called a coiled cap. I'm gonna turn that to the side, bend that to the side just like so. And then same thing, I'm still working on my mark on my plier so that I make the same size loop on both earrings. And I'm gonna re-grasp my head pin, still about 1/8 of an inch from the bead, from the bend. And then I'm gonna roll it back towards myself, get that half circle. I'll take that out so you can see. Half circle. And then I'm gonna re-grasp that, still on my mark, roll it down and around into a full circle. Before I finish this off, I have to attach it to my chain. So I'm gonna take my piece of chain and I'm going to put it on the end of the head pin. And I'm gonna bring it inside that circle so it's gonna dangle from my chain. The reason you have to do that there is because the chain is a closed connector and I'm about to make this a closed connector, and of course, you can't put 2 closed connectors together. And then I'm gonna re-grasp my loop. Same thing, see how I switched to that chain nose plier? And I'm gonna re-grasp it, and then I'm gonna start wrapping. Now here is the magic. So I'm gonna start wrapping, and I could just stop right there because it's finished, but if I keep wrapping and pull the wire down towards the pearl, it's gonna create a little coil on top of the bead. And I'm just gonna wrap as long as I can, as far as I can. So if you look up close, you can see that little coil. So it's like a little bead cap on top of there. And then I'm just gonna trim off the extra wire like so. So you have something a little bit more long and dramatic, and I'm gonna attach that to my ear wire. Same thing, this is the same type of ear wire. It doesn't matter what kind of ear wire you get. If you have a lever back, or if you have a post with a loop at the bottom, or this, which is just a little French wire, they're all gonna have that little opening down there. It really is a secret that nobody tells you, but now you know, now everybody knows. And I'm just going to pop this on there, like so, and close that up. See? Pretty. And then I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna attach it to one other type of chain, because I wanna show you can also mix your metals and use different types of links to put these together to just make it totally different. This time, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm gonna bend it back right up above the top of the bead and roll this back towards myself there. And I've got that half circle. Stay on your mark, wrap it around, and same thing, you have to attach this to that little closed connector right now. You just slide it along the end, just like so, and into that loop. And then switch pliers, chain nose, re-grasp, and wrap. And you can choose to finish it right here, or you can continue to wrap and make that cute little cap. Take your flush cutter, always make sure when you cut that you use that flush side of the flush cutter so you don't have a little point. I'm just gonna trim it. And then that is going to attach to my ear wire and close up. And so now I have like a little mixed metal piece. That's 3 different styles of earrings, kind of using the exact same technique for you guys, and you can mix that up. Just use different beads, use different types of chain, use different colors of head pins. Some of these head pins even have, instead of that little flat end on them, even have like little decorative pieces and all kinds of stuff. So you guys can do whatever you want to make them your own. So that is all there is to it. That is how you make a simple drop earring. I hope you guys make tons of them. I don't know what you want to do with them, but you can sell them, you can wear them all yourself, you can give them as gifts. It's so much fun to make jewelry. Hope you have a great time with it. But don't forget the things that you need. You're gonna have to have some head pins. These are those long, straight pins with a head on the end. You're gonna need some ear wires. If you're gonna make 1 pair, you're gonna at least need 2, 1 for each ear. If you would like to make them a little bit more unique, you can use little links of chain like I have here. That's optional. And of course, you have to have some beads. As far as tools are concerned, you're going to need a flush cutter. Very important. Have to have a round nose plier and a chain nose plier. And then of course, if you want to do like I do and work on your mark, so all your loops and coils are the same size, then you're gonna need a permanent marker. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys would like to pick up some supplies like the ones I worked with today, check out the links down below. If you have any questions about making other types of earrings, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.